Counterpunch promo live in 3, 2, 1.
Once upon a time, they awoke to the concerted effort underway to dummy them down, to the forces working at every turn to water down human wherewithal. They stood, they rallied, they drew their line in the sand, vowing once and for all to scale their spines and mortal up. That was the day the tables turned, and the universe itself sat up and took notice.
Live from the Counterpunch Studios in Columbus, Ohio, you're listening to All Natural Being with Brian Brawdy on IPMNation.com. If you're not going to mortal up, why not just stay in bed?
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
This is not a drill.
All Natural Being. Warning, All Natural Being with Brian Brawdy is designed to shake your sense of self to the core.
It's full contact psychology with an empowering twist, a philosophical loofah for your soul.
For those of you not ready or comfortable releasing your inner superhuman, listener discretion is advised.
Here's your host,
Brian Brawdy.
Good morning, and welcome Friday morning, here at least in the States. Welcome, and thank you for stopping by the 434th episode, Wayne confirms, of the #1 rated all-natural being and the gong heard round the world, your snooze alarms, at least we hope, your snooze alarms sworn enemy. Radio that sparks your smart. Broadcast that builds your strong and unleash your legendary. Because I believe if you're still here, you have a legend to let loose. And we're serving up the best thoughts in the history of thinking. Yeah, I know it's a pretty bold statement, but that's what I believe. I'm fired up, as always, to be your virtual hitchhiker riding shotgun as you get into your day. So what do you say? Here's our opportunity together to mortal up. Here's our opportunity to crush your cant and smack your critics while we're at it. So it's time. Let's go kick in some doors, and a lot going on here. I've got some special guests calling in this morning, so I'm very excited about that. Obviously. And good morning to you. Thank you so very much, as I said, for joining us. We'll be getting, you know what? I was thinking yesterday in terms of all the different things that we try to do, right? So you think, okay, what is it that we have to do so that if people tune in the mornings, they're like, yeah, man, I was pretty fired up after I took a listen to that. So that's what we're working on this morning, is to make sure that we always, are able to bring some things, maybe the news at night, which is the Lowlife's making headlines this morning, is directly out of some overnight news. And as always, I know what you're thinking, but as always, there's so much competition for the top lowlife making a headline that sometimes I just stand down here. Oh, let me button up a little bit. Sometimes I just stand down here and I'm like, I don't know which one to choose. There's so many idiots running around the world, right? So I've got one this morning that all right. So we'll get to that here in just a minute. So let's do this. Here's something else in case you're wondering, well, what goes on in that show in the morning? So what's everything all about? Here you go.
What's on the menu for the next 30 minutes? Well, we play less music than any other radio station in the morning, guaranteed. That's our, if it's your favorite song, you'll never hear it here promise.
Yeah, that's true. We're not much for your favorite song first thing in the morning. I got to give you that. So it's my promise to you that, if you're tuning in to hear your favorite song, no, not happening here. And I'm also told, here's something else. People say, you can play like the first 7 or 8 seconds of a song, and that's okay. It doesn't violate anything. Well, come to find out that's not necessarily true, right? So, well, like, oh, great. So I learned and I studied that and everything else. But no, you can't even so much as a snippet, like a second even. They go, oh no. And these people, the people over on YouTube, they'll just like go, no, we're going to charge you, or we're going to put you in some kind of jail if you use any kind of music. I mean, even music I own, the people over there, whatever service they use, they go, nope. It's copyrighted. Yeah, I own the copyright needle, Nits. But in any event, that's that's what you're up against. If you're dealing with these people, it's just unbelievable. So my promise to you is you'll never hear you. If you're one of those people that need to start the day listening to their favorite song, I'd hit your iPhone or your Android, wherever your music app is. I'd hit it up before you get over here, because chances of hearing music on this show are slim to none, just so you know. I'm just saying. All right, so let's do this. Let's get into lowlifes making headlines this morning. Switch it up a little bit. But before we do that, don't forget, if you want to give us a call, I'll also throw our QR code up on the screen. If you want to give us a call, it's toll-free 833-MIND-UPS, 833-646-3877. And you can also text us at that number if you like. To tell you that standard messaging texting rates may apply, but at least a call, if you want to call into the studio, that's toll-free 833-MIND-UPS, just like push-ups or sit-ups or pull-ups, 833-646-3877. 877 if you're up for it. All right, and then so let's this morning jump in right away to lowlifes making headlines. Hot heads wrapped in thin skin covering brittle brains atop balsa wood spines. It's time for lowlifes making headlines. You're going to change tone a little bit here, especially given yesterday. This is why I had such a difficult time. Maybe we'll save that lowlife, the one that's runner-up to the lowlife. So like the second lowlife making the headline. Maybe we'll save that for Monday. But today's lowlife making headlines, obviously, if you've seen any of the reports overnight, you have to think about the 49, maybe by now 50 people, I'm sad to say, the 50 people that were slaughtered by this nut in New Zealand. Went to a mosque, or a couple mosques actually, with high-powered. It looks like I would say that there was absolutely machine guns, high-powered rounds, and slaughtered a bunch of people. Now, when you think about it, they'll say, 49 people killed. You're killed by a tornado. You're killed in a car accident. You're right, those kind of things. But all you can call this is a slaughter. All you can call this was anyone, and I say this as a gun owner, anyone that could shoot an unarmed human being is the epitome of lowlifes making headlines. So if you ever wonder, look, what's the definition of a lowlife making headline? This would be top of the charts. If you can machine gun, if you can shoot any kind of handgun, any kind of firearm, if you can use a firearm to shoot unarmed, and these are people that aren't firing back at you, right? They're not going to go. So it's a unique brand of evil coward that would fire on an unarmed person. It just is. So this morning's lowlife making headlines, and let me say, I know it's not popular with what's that lady's name in New York? Rick Ocasio Cortez, whatever her name is, that says, I don't know what good thoughts and prayers are doing. But nonetheless, our thoughts, and most certainly our prayers, go out to the people, the families that have survived losing the loved ones of, again, this nut overnight with a machine gun in 2 different mosques in New Zealand. We absolutely are. I just, what do you say in such a way? You go, thoughts and prayers. But it's so much more than that. Your heart just goes out. Imagine being a family member that survived. Imagine heartbroken doesn't even begin to talk about it. So our thoughts, our prayers, are all of it goes out to the families of the survivors of the families that were lost overnight in New Zealand. All right, we'll take a quick break and we will be right back.
You tired of the snake oil? Go to allnaturalbeing.com.
All right. Oh, my good friend, Bob Lockwood. Thank you for that, Bob. Tired of the snake oil? Go to allnaturalbeing.com, as you know it now, mortalup.com, a.k.a. Brian Brawdy. Same thing. If you don't know how to spell Brawdy, then I just thought Mortal Up would be a pretty decent way to go. So let's do this. Let's jump right into the feed this morning, into the phone lines, and say hello to everybody. Good morning to Lee. Lee, good morning. Thank you very much. And thank you yesterday, Lee, for jumping on the Brian Brain Trust. Thank you very much for that. Kathy, good morning. Kathy says, I missed you all week, but I made it today. Kathy, very glad to have you here. Miriam Huff, thank you so very much for joining us this morning. It's nice to know that you're with us. And Lee, good morning to you as well. So we were talking about, or maybe you want to nominate, or maybe you have a thought that you'd like to give us a call. Don't forget, you can call right in here to the studio, 833-MIND-UPS, 833-646-3877. Or, of course, you can text us and it comes straight through as well. I also want to give a quick shout out and a thank you to Wayne Noel. Wayne, for working all of his magic. Now we're broadcast, in terms of the video, we're broadcast on Facebook, a.k.a. Mug Pamphlet. We're broadcasting on Twitter, a.k.a. Birdscat. And we're also on YouTube. I just haven't come up with an AKA for YouTube yet. They haven't ticked me off enough, right? They haven't. I don't know. But anyway, in any event, if you have a tagline or a slogan or a code name probably a better term. If you have a code name that we can use for YouTube, throw it up here in the feed. Or most certainly, give us a text. Let us know what's going on. All right, this morning we're going to do it a little different. Instead of going into, our 60-second stoic, because I didn't get to this the other day, I thought we would throw it in this morning right away. Let's jump into our early morning meme and talk about that. We're probably going to go a little over this morning. We're expecting a couple of guests to call in, and if that happens, you never can tell, but if that happens, we want to get this out of the way in case we roll over. So let's hit our lowlifes making headlines. I'm sorry. Already got that done. Brad, what's with you? Well, we'll get to that in a minute, right? But let's hit the early morning meme and we'll go from there. Want the perfect way to jumpstart your brain, to prime your mind, to hone your heart and your head? Here's today's early morning meme. Early morning meme. You ever found yourself in a situation where you say, oh, I've hit rock bottom? Ever hit rock bottom or felt like you have? So today's early morning meme, if you've hit rock bottom, what a perfect time to bounce back. So you ever had that situation where you feel like there's just no hope, that everything around you has just gone south? And I don't mean like south for the winter. I don't mean south in a good way, but you just feel like you're at rock bottom. I saw something the other day somewhere in social media that says, oh, if you've dug yourself a deep hole, the first thing you got to do is quit digging. And I think, yeah, okay, that's pretty good, but a little more shelf help there than I'm comfortable with. Look, if you find yourself digging a hole, figure out where rock bottom is, because that's the perfect foundation to look up, to mortal up. And once you find rock bottom, that's the perfect time to bounce back. Good morning, Marcellus. Thank you so very much. Good morning to you as well. Marcellus says, good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining us here at All Natural Being. How about you? Do you have an example of when, at a time in your life where you've just hit rock bottom and you're thinking to yourself, oh, man, I will never recover from this? And I have to tell you, I posted a picture, and it would have been good to have the picture to put up here. See, right, not all there. I'm learning these things as we go. This would have been a perfect time to put a picture. But yesterday I started, and I mentioned this only in terms of a segment that we have that we'll be starting next week. Right, there's 5 days in a week, right? So Monday through Friday we'll be doing this particular segment. I'm calling it 5 books I'm taking to my 5th brain surgery. The 5 books I'm taking to my 5th brain surgery. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to highlight a book Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. There'll be some kind of graphic. I doubt it'll be a cool graphic because I'll be doing it. Now, if Wayne does the graphic, then it's right. It's like a, what do you get when you're in an art award? Is that a Pulitzer? No, that's probably writing. But you know what I mean. Look, if there were Emmys or if there were Grammys for drawing art, this would be it. So if Wayne does it, it'll be good. But for me, I'll just hack something together. But the segment's going to be called The 5 Books I'm Taking to My 5th Brain Surgery. and I'll be highlighting a book each of the 5 days. And these are books that I've read before, to be honest, right? But they've been instrumental in getting me from where I was to where I am. Okay, so about yesterday's picture, I put up a picture of me. The first thing they had to do is do all kinds of blood tests to figure out, will you survive this battery of tests? I guess, right? Will you survive this battery of tests? Because I don't know if I fail the blood test, do they still go ahead and go through with the test? So I don't know that answer. It's a good question, Brian. Well, thank you very much, Brian. But I had to go through the blood test to see if I'm in the position to even get to Friday. No, today's Friday. If I even get, see what happens when you're running low on spinal fluid. Oh, it's not a pretty sight. It's not a pretty sight. Well, I should say I'm running low on spinal fluid in my brain. It has no problem piling up back here. Right? It looks like I'm trying to shoplift a gourd. Right? Like I'm trying to, if I wear a hat, security stops me at the grocery store and says, hey, are you trying to steal that cantaloupe? So in any event, I posted the picture of, getting the blood let, because what I'd like to do is keep everybody abreast of what's going on, exactly what's happening as I prepare, as leading up to, and even though Sue yesterday, and I want to just thank Sue very, very quickly, as I did this morning over on Facebook. Sue was instrumental in getting the Brian Brain Trust launched on GoFundMe. So thank you so much, Sue, for all the effort and the thought and the concept, and most certainly thank you for everyone that contributed overnight. There's a list of folks that contributed to the GoFundMe on Facebook. Thank you so very much for that. And what I'm going to be doing, right, because I have to tell you, it's kind of humbling to realize that it's kind of humbling to realize that I'm hurting, right? That one of the reasons, and maybe this is more honesty than you need, but don't forget, we're not playing your favorite song here, so I got to fill airtime some way. A part of that is that moving to mornings was really good, because as we got into later in the day, it just was literally a pain in the neck to carry around all this extra spinal fluid back there. So now getting up in the morning, I come here and I'm like half quart, I mean 3/4 of a quart low by this time in the morning, and like 8 quarts low by the time the end of the day gets here. So I've got that going for me. So a part of switching to mornings was just, to lighten up a little bit on some of the medical things. But I wanted to thank everybody that participated. And one of the things that I want to do is I want to find a way of thanking everyone. So I'll be doing personal videos. So you know who you are, you know that the videos will be coming. And so each time that there's something there, I want to be able to go on and go, hey, I really appreciate it. And the Brian Brain Trust, which will be the private page over on Facebook, that's designed to get, right? Because I don't want to bore everyone else. If you're not interested, you're not interested, right? But I'm going to be posting pictures like that over there, and the different things that I'll be doing leading up to, through, and most certainly after my 5th brain surgery. So if you're wondering what that was all about, there you go. That's where it is over on Facebook. So again, thank you to everyone that participated in that. All right. Well, Kathy says, wow, I am so out of the loop this week. Good luck with number 5. Prayers for you. Kathy, thank you very much. Here's the thing. And I know this is a weird sense, right? Just people will look at this and go, okay, whatever. But I've always had a very strong belief, if you've ever seen any of the other videos that I've done, that you don't get to ask for your luck to be sugar-coated, right? And I have a very strong belief, as I said, Ebony, if you're listening, geez, I don't know if I'm supposed to say her name, but Ebony, you know where we met. As Ebony was helping me yesterday, you know where we met. So I don't want to use her name and where she works, because maybe they're like, hey, look, we didn't even say anything. So let me say hello to Ebony if you're listening. She was helping helping me with something yesterday, and we got to talking about it, right? And Ebony had her own physical challenges, and we talked a little bit about it when she said, wow, you have such a great attitude. You're in such a great mood. And right, what first bounced into my mind was that I don't ask to have my luck sugar-coated. And secondly, if you have the Judeo-Christian faith, you say, thy will be done. If you're of the Islamic faith, you say inshallah, if Allah wills. If you're a Taoist, you say that the Tao follows its own path. And for me, what I'm gripped by is that when you say thy will be done, I just can't bring myself to go, psst, over here. Yeah, right. So the thy will be done thing, yeah, that's a good idea for everyone. Like, who am I? All these people bribing their kids to get into USC? Is USC some kind of college that everybody and their brother and sister is dying to get into? Is that the Trojans? I don't think I've seen the Trojans play football since I was like 4. USC, but in any event, what am I, like one of these parents bribing officials, putting their kids' faces on the body, photoshopping their kids' faces on the bottom of, or the bodies of Olympic athletes? So you go, oh, thy will be done. But psst, I wonder if I could bribe you. And I wonder, let's say we take your will, but then we just tweak it a little bit. You know what I mean? We go, oh, wow, well, how about if we do this? I've just never bought into that. All right, let's take a quick call, see who is with us. Good morning. Welcome to All Natural Being. Who is this?
Hey, Brian, it's Doug. How you doing?
You know, you're not going to believe this, Doug, but I say every morning that I think of you. So would you mind if I did a little, like a 30-second trip down memory lane, and then we'll get into your big adventure?
Oh, that should be fun.
Sorry, brother, you got up early just to do this. I can tell. Okay, here's why I said, I know you did. Thank you. You're allowed to call in boxers or bathrobes, right? That's just like a standing rule here first thing in the morning. All right, so you go, yeah, Bri, you're right. You say you think of me every morning. Here's the first reason.
All Natural Being with Brian Brawdy.
What?
Radio for the rare breed.
Radio for the rare breed. I use that soundbite that you recorded. Thank you very much. Here's another one that I use all the time.
Sooner or later, your soul gets tired of all your crap. allnaturalbeing.com.
I think we might have some technical difficulty here or something. Maybe it's my tube burning brain. You know, I'm old enough that I'm not really solid state yet. Certainly not in the digital age. My brain still works on tube technology.
Oh, wow. Well, in any event, I play, regardless of that technology, I play the technology here in the mornings that is your voice going, sooner or later your soul just gets tired of your crap. And it's one of those things, Doug, when you recorded it, I listened to it, and it automatically makes me smile. Right? Kind of like when I say...
Awesome.
Go ahead, I'm sorry.
I was going to tell you, I actually recorded that on my phone in a parking deck.
Oh.
Outside the gym.
I love that one. Well, feel free. Look, if you want to record, and we'll get to that here in just a minute, but it always makes me smile whenever I hear your voice on those two, and it makes me laugh, kind of like, when I say, I open every morning and I go, oh, live from blah, 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 here in a suburb of beautiful Columbus, Ohio. And every time I put the word beautiful alongside of Columbus, Ohio, as hard as I try, I just can't keep from laughing, right? Beautiful Columbus, Ohio. I go, oh, what are you kidding me?
I've traveled quite a bit, Brian, and I got to tell you, Columbus ain't bad.
No, I joke, especially because my neighbors listen, and I don't want them to think I'm throwing them under the bus, right? And I said, look, I'll cut back on the Ohio stands for, oh, how I'm out of here, right? I didn't say that, so I'm learning. Hey, but listen, speaking of being out of here, and Doug, we don't spare any expense, production value. So I don't know if you're watching or you can see, but I have a globe of the world, and you're going to be traveling from here to here on the globe, and then you're thinking, all right, Brian, no one can see what's going on the globe. So then I thought, okay, again, unlimited production value. Or a thing. So I thought, here's a map a little closer in. Here's Atlanta. Oh, and look at this. Honest to God. Here's the entire state of Texas. And I know you can't see right now, but, you know what I could do? Let's try this, Doug. Talk about technologies. Let's see if this works. So here we go. That might be a better look. Here's Atlanta, right? And the only city mentioned in all of Texas on this board, borrowed it this morning from the kids, the only city mentioned is Austin. So I have Atlanta in Georgia, and I have Austin. So here's I'll hold it up to the camera so everyone can see, right? And you're going, Brian, the production value of this show. Now I know why I got up early. Well, there you go. From
It's pretty
Alabama.
outstanding.
What? I'm just a pro at Photoshop. But no, I promise, now that we have your announcement, I promise that there's going to be a graphic where you're like, man, I got to pull over to see that graphic. That's just too much. And so why don't we get to it, Doug? Why don't we tell everyone, and I wish I were going with you. You know me in the open road. I wish I were going with you. But why don't you give us an idea of what you're up to?
Well, so, I've been a motorcycle aficionado, if you will, for a great number of years. And I have not done a long road trip in about 20 years. I've done a lot of short road trips, but I haven't done a long one in quite some time. And then I've got some other things going on in Austin weekend after next that I wanted to attend. And I thought, well, it's a perfect opportunity since I'm gainfully unemployed at the moment. It would be a perfect opportunity for me to just hop on a motorcycle and ride out there. Specifically, I'll be riding a 1978 BMW R80/7, which was the top-of-the-line motorcycle BMW produced in 1978. It's probably somewhere near the bottom of the barrel today, but it's really a nice bike.
And this bike has a special meaning to you. This bicycle.
It does. I am riding this bike specifically because last October, while exiting my neighborhood, I had a driver in my lane coming at me at a closing speed of somewhere around 70 miles an hour. And I chose to try and avoid the certainty of death as much as possible.
Yeah, it's a big thing with people trying to avoid that certainty of death thing.
Yeah,
it's a big thing.
Ended up with me hitting head first into the pavement somewhere around 40 miles an hour, and earned me a nice stay in the neuro ICU with a bleeding brain and concussion and all sorts of wonderful things like that. So I was thinking, after I put this motorcycle back together, which fortunately I work in a little independent shop called Bedlam Works in Athens, Georgia. Because of that connection, I was able to put this bike back together into top form and ready to ride again. So,
Doug, let me just ask you real quickly. It's Bedlam Works, right? Do they have a Facebook page? You know? Was that your alarm going off?
I'm having some technical difficulty on my end.
That's okay. That's okay. So Bedlam, that's your alarm going off to tell you it's time to call your friend Brian. I know. Thank you, brother. I appreciate you getting up early. So Bedlam Works, WRRKS, right? Bedlam Works. Do they have a Facebook page?
WERKS. It's misspelled, and it makes us all crazy.
Oh, great. Works, WERKS. And they have a Facebook page?
They do indeed.
Okay, good. I'm going to put it up here in the feed when we're done. So you're at Bedlam Works, and talk about getting back up on the horse that just threw you. This a BMW, and I think you said it was an R80-7. This is the bike you had to lay down to avoid the neighbor coming at you at 70 miles an hour.
Oh yeah. So I crashed this bike, and obviously, I don't have much of any memory after hitting the pavement. I'm told I did all sorts of things on scene, which we will not go into on air because most of it involved me cursing like a sailor, not to disparage sailors.
Yeah, really. I've been with you, brother. So, there's not a sailor that wants.
So anyway, I crashed this bike, bent the forks.
Right.
It slid far enough on the pavement that it ground all the way through the valve cover on the right-hand cylinder on the pavement, twisted the crash bars. I don't know why they call them crash bars or engine protectors, because they didn't do anything for me.
Right.
So they were all bent up. The frame of the bike's in great shape. Dented the gas tank horribly. Twisted the front fender. blah blah blah. I mean, it was just a mess.
Sure.
But I was able to put this bike back together mostly with used parts because that's really all that's available for that bike anymore. Rebuilt the front forks, found an entire new set of bodywork for it, including a new tank.
Wow.
So over a period of a month or so, while I couldn't turn my head from the whiplash and couldn't. There goes my alarm again. Look at that.
Look at that. Well, you really must have wanted to call. Thank you. I super appreciate that.
No, I think what I did is I hit snooze on my phone, and I can't actually get back to where I need to turn it off.
Well, I can play one of your pre-recorded station breaks if you want to go over there real quick. You were nice enough to send me all kinds of them. So if you want to walk away from the phone and hit the alarm, I've got some other ones queued up. It's up to you.
I'm good.
All right, cool.
I think,
All right, let me say hello to Paul. Paul from Blender Buffer. You know, someone said to me the other day, I saw someone in line, Doug, and Blender Buffer is this thing you put over your coffee, your blender in the morning so it doesn't wake up everybody in the house. And the guy comes up to me and says, could I make a suggestion? I go, yeah. And he says, Blender Buffer, why make them suffer? And I go, that's a great tagline. You should write for me, right? It's a better tagline than I would ever come up with. Although I did come up with shh happens, right? So in any event, let me say good morning to Paul, the inventor of Blender Buffer. Thanks for joining us. And to Janice. Thank you so much, Janice, for watching us over on Twitter. I don't know if you know this, Doug, but you're going out live now on YouTube. You're going out live on Facebook and Twitter. So another shout out to the good people at Bedlam Works, spelled Bedlam, standard spelling, Works, Werks. They have a Facebook page. We'll put up all the contact information. So, Doug, I'm fired up to learn about. Not fired up to learn, but I'm interested to learn about the damage to the bike. But talk to me a little more, right? Because you and I have always had 100 things in common, but you were hurt pretty bad. I mean, your noggin got bounced around as well.
Oh yeah. I had a. Well, you wanted to talk about it. But, sometimes I don't remember these things. I had a pretty good concussion, subdural hematoma, blood in the old brain pan kind of thing. And, so while I'm in the ER, one of the people that came in to visit me was a neurologist, and he sits down and starts going over all these questions that you would assume someone would ask who was about to go have brain surgery. And I looked at him and I said, what have you got in mind here, mister?
What's going on? Right, I didn't come in for a pedicure.
Yeah, I didn't come in for this. So, I thought that really all I needed was to have my forehead stitched up, and, we were going to leave and go to Las Vegas that afternoon. So, he says, no, you're not going anywhere. So he says, what we're going to do is monitor you overnight. If this isn't any better tomorrow, then we're going to open up your skull.
You have been there, done that.
Yeah, well, I didn't really want to go down that route.
Right.
So,
who does? Right?
Fortunately, I avoided surgery, but I did have some interesting memory loss from it, and sometimes I still get a little confused, but I think it's just typical of brain injuries in general. Although I don't know if there's anything typical about a brain injury.
Right.
It does make you do some odd things. So anyway, I was thinking the other day that when I heard that my good buddy Brian was going to have to go back and have his fifth.
No.
God love you.
Thanks, brother. I appreciate it. It's just like they told me that. And I was like, are you kidding me? You know what my first thing was, Doug? The first thing I thought was Irish luck. No. Don't believe the hype. Right? Irish luck. Are you kidding me? And I just looked at him going, what? Let me say good morning to Lynette. Lynette, thank you so very much for watching. You're listening to Doug. And we're talking about the good folks at Bedlam Works and Doug's recent motorcycle. It's hard to even call it an accident. It was like someone's coming at you at 70 miles an hour. You didn't accidentally lay your bike down. You had to lay it down. So we're talking to Doug, and Doug, sorry to interrupt. You know what I mean? But what are you going to do? 70 miles an hour.
Yeah. I would never choose to, as they say, lay a bike down, because that's silly. Why would I take a machine that I have control over and turn it into one that I don't?
Yeah. And the term "lay it down," you know what I mean? Oh, like you lay down your kids. Yeah. Well, lay it down, put a pillow underneath, and put a blanket, give them a little bedtime story. No, it's crash it down or something else. But yeah, lay it down. I'm with you. That doesn't seem to fit the damage.
I literally tried to control the motorcycle and avoid the collision as best I could.
Sure.
And the problem was I was in a 90-degree right-hand curve, and the oncoming traffic was in my lane, only about 40 yards in front of me. So I was already committed to the turn. The only thing I could do was try to pull the bike to the inside of the curve instead of to the outside.
Right.
Because if I had tried to stand it up and get it more upright and then avoid the crash to the outside, I would have hit it for sure. The problem is, it was Georgia. It was fall.
Sure.
There was dew on all the grass.
Sure.
As soon as my front wheel broke the pavement and went into the grass, it was all over.
It was all over. Sure. Sure.
Next thing I know, I was sitting in my buddy's front seat with blood all over me.
Well, needless to say, I'm glad you decided to handle it that way, because at 70 miles an hour, you would have gone through the windshield and passed by the driver and probably exited the back window and kept on going. So I'm glad you made the decision that you did.
The 70 miles an hour it's a closing speed. I was doing about 35, 40. She was doing about 35, 40.
Right.
So
I'm sorry. Right. That's right. All right. So now you were saying the other day, and I'll show the graphic again, the top-notch graphic department that we have here at All Natural Being. So I swear to God, I don't know if you can see this, but it really is Austin, the only city on the map in Texas. And I think if you're from Austin, you'd think, well, that makes perfect sense. It is the only city in Texas worthwhile, right? Duh.
Exactly.
Duh. I love that. So talk to us about the A to A trip and what you were thinking about the other day. You're getting ready to go on this trip. It's on the same bike that you had to lay down. So you're getting right back on the horse, right? Right back on the horse, which is great news. Tell us what you were thinking about.
Well, so originally I was thinking, it would be great just to hop on the bike and take a trip. And then I ran across, as I was saying, your information about facing your fifth time into the cranium. And I thought, Brian's always been there for me. It didn't matter what it was. You've always been there for me for anything I've asked of you. And you didn't ask me to do anything, but I thought, if we could make this into some sort of let's try and raise a little money for Brian. Let's do something so that you can benefit from the fact that I'm going to have a sore butt and ride on these things for 4 or 5 days.
Right.
So, So I thought, okay, Brian's got a GoFundMe out there that popped up right about the same time.
About the same time, yeah.
I said, how about if Brian's fans could find a way to pledge some dough per mile for my 2,500-mile round trip?
Very cool. Very cool. Well, thank you. I super appreciate it. Yeah. And because you know what else, too? And two quick things I wanted to mention, Doug. One is that I'd love for you to call in from the road, send pictures. You send me pictures, I'll get them right up here in the feed. Send me the logo with the web address for Bedlam Works. I'll get them right up in the feed. So maybe you could call in at different points of your trip. Like, I happen to know one of the things you're doing when you get to Austin. I'd love pictures of that. You know what I mean? So you could kind of be like our roving reporter, and then I'm thinking that people could like sponsor per mile, like you're going on a walkathon, right? Like you're going from Atlanta to Austin and back, right? And back. So it'd be like a walkathon, and people pledge, go, oh, so much per mile. So I super appreciate that, and I also wanted to mention, Doug, that it's humbling just personally, it's humbling to be hurt. I'm tired of being wounded. I'm tired of being injured. I'm tired of leaking spinal fluid. And for people like you that have known me all these years, the doctors say, you were talking about your neurologist, the doctors say, oh, we'll have you back to normal in no time. And I go, dude, it's been a long time since I've been normal. Don't even, like, if you're setting that goal for yourself, well, we're going to get Brian back to normal. Yeah. Good luck with that, pal.
Were either of us ever normal?
ever normal? Good luck with that. Well, we want to get you back to normal. Okay, good. Well, you're going to need a team of psychiatrists to pull off that feat. But it's very humbling to be in a position. So what I wanted to do is that for the things that come in, I'm going to continue. I'm going to try my best to continue to do the radio show. But what the doctors have said to me is, you got to recover. No more kettlebells, no more deadlifting, no more 15-mile runs. When you get out of this, your 5th brain surgery, and I'm like, it's a brain surgery. What are you going to do? And they go, Bri, you have to pay attention to this. Some people, and Doug, as I know you know, when I had the first tumor removed, the guy in the emergency room next to me, or the operating room next to me, didn't make it out of the surgery. So I'm I'm really aware of how lucky I am. And they go, look, you're going to the well for the 5th time in 2.5 years. You gotta prepare to recover from this. So, from the bottom of my heart, thank you. And I should mention Sue as well. Put together the GoFundMe campaign, and you can see it over on Facebook, and I think we're going to put it in some other places as soon as I learn how to do it. But a lot of it is going to go to keeping the radio show going, some of the technology, some of the different things that we need. And then like you, if you do it on this road trip, what I was thinking, Doug, I want to be able to record, and it might not be live like the day before and a couple days after the surgery, but I'd like to keep everyone abreast of what's going on through the whole thing. So when people go into the GoFundMe, there's the ability to sign up, and we're building it today, but the private Facebook page called the Brian Brain Trust. So Brian Brain Trust will be the hashtag, so that I can keep people abreast, because other people might go, look, we couldn't care less about your 5th brain surgery. And I'm like, cool. So we're going to build that private page just for people that, they have a little bit of skin in the game. If they're going to make a donation and they're going to help my recovery out, then I want to be able to tell them what we're doing. So I can't thank you enough for volunteering. Like I said, in a big motorcycle walkathon.
It's my pleasure, really, Brian.
Well, thank you, brother. I appreciate it. And as I super appreciate you getting up bright and early in the morning to pull this off. Now, when do you leave for your Doug's excellent adventure?
The exact departure date is yet to be determined.
Okay.
It may be Wednesday the 20th.
Oh, great.
In the afternoon, or it may be Thursday the 21st at about 4 a.m.
Okay. Great.
I'm actually departing from Athens, Georgia.
Okay.
Which is, home of the double-barrel cannon, amongst other things.
Oh, cool. Is that a beer? Sorry.
No.
Should be.
It's an actual double-barrel cannon. It doesn't work. Civil War relic.
There you go. Well, it would be a great name for a beer, though, when you think about it.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, it could have like a really high alcohol content. What are you drinking? Oh, a double-barrel cannon.
There you go.
I know.
So I may
made.
leave on Wednesday afternoon just because I want to get beyond the Atlanta madness.
Sure.
Before I start my day. I don't want to start my day with that kind of aggravation.
Agreed. Agreed. Well, and you're also saying, look, I'd start my day as soon as my friends ask me to stop asking me to call in at before sunrise, right? So I won't ask you to call in anymore, so you can sleep in and everything else. But I would love it if you send me pictures now, and I promised I would let you go by quarter till. But so you're going to have like a jet boil, which I know very well, used to be used to do commercials for them, but a jet boil with your espresso maker attached up. So when you're like, hey, I think I'd like a double espresso, you're just going to pull over.
Absolutely.
And make an espresso.
I don't need no stinking drive-through coffee.
Oh man, there you go. I think that's great. Now, so how long do you think? Okay, in 1 minute, because I know I said quarter till for you. How long do you think it will take? Do you want to give us an idea of what you're going to be doing when you get there? You want to give a shout out to anybody? And don't forget to send me the stuff on Bedlam Works. What are you up to?
I'm figuring it's going to be, if I do it in 2 days, it's going to be a little over 500 miles per day. So you're looking at about 22, 23 hours each way.
Okay.
That's a lot of time
sitting
on a motorcycle.
I believe that.
So I think that the mileage may be ambitious, but I really want to be there before the weekend. So we're going to push it as hard as possible to get there at the 500 mile per day mark.
Okay.
Coming back may take 5 or 6 days. I don't know.
Well, I think you should come. It may take 5 or 6 days. I think you should come via a beautiful Columbus, Ohio. And you
it's
could
a possibility.
You could stay here and be a live studio guest. Yeah,
that would just I don't know, man. I've got a real face for radio.
Yeah, I it's on the webpage. Someone said the other day he's got more head scars than most Vikings, and part of me was like, yeah. But then I took it as a compliment, right? Is your friend Brian Wood? Sure. Yeah, sure. Why not? I was born with a hair lip. Where was I going? Fate was against me from the moment I was born. All right, Doug, we're going to let you go. Thank you so very much. I super appreciate it. And then, we'll get pictures. We'll get this and that. I would love a picture of you on the bike, but also all the information for Bedlam Works, so that I can have them, have the segment of you calling in and texting in and letting me know what's going on. But thank you so very much for thinking of me. I super appreciate it. And I just safe travels. I'm sure I'll talk to you before then.
Thanks, brother.
All right, Doug. Thanks so much. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that was Doug Harmon, a good friend of mine, and he's going to be taking the same motorcycle that he was on during the crash. Talk about riding, getting back up on the horse. He's going to be taking that same motorcycle, the BMW R80-7. I don't know why they just wouldn't have called it 87, or maybe I don't know why they call it that. But in any event, he, with the good folks at Bedlam Works, are putting everything together. So that's the bike he's going to use to get to Austin and back. And what he's very, very graciously agreed to do as a part of the GoFundMe campaign is to have people say, oh, well, we'll pledge so much per mile on Doug's excellent adventure, and have that all and contribute that to the GoFundMe campaign. So obviously I'm very fired up about that. All right, before we go, good morning again to Lynette. Good morning to Mitzi. Thank you so very much for watching with us this morning. Wayne is there. Good morning to you, and to Kathy, and to Marcellus, and to Lee, and to Miriam. Thank you so very much. Jennifer as well. Thank you for joining us this morning here at All Natural Being. We're going to go ahead and get out of here, and we're taking the weekend off, but we'll see you back here Monday, and we'll be doing, what are we doing? The 5 books I'm taking to my 5th brain surgery, books that I think would make a very powerful impact. If you're not familiar with them already, you will be next week. All right, we're going to go ahead and get out of here. Thank you so very much for joining us here at All Natural Being.
You've been listening to All Natural Being with Brian Brawdy.
Join us live every Monday through Friday, 7 to 8 a.m. Eastern.
Also, check us out around the clock at allnaturalbeing.com.
Until then, always remember to bring your own bold.